Welcome to Sports this morning. Let's kickstart with some interesting developments in the world of sports. Of course, the Super Falcons of Nigeria opened their Women's Africa Cup of Nations defense with a 2-3 defeat to debutants Malawi in Rabat. Yes, it's not fake news. It actually did happen at the Al Madina Stadium. In Group C, Malawi, who are appearing at the tournament for the first time, the debutants produced the biggest shock of the night. Temwa Chawinga scored twice for the Scorchers. Her sister, Tabitha Chawinga, added another, and between them, the Chawinga sisters accounted for all three of Malawi's goals. Nigeria replied with two of their own, but it was just too late and not enough. Nigeria fought back, scored through a Rashidat Ajibade penalty in the 91st minute, setting the stage for an epic final. Temwa then scored again deep into stoppage time to make it 3-1. Nigeria pushed on and got a late goal from Uchenna Kanu. That goal, however, was not enough for the Super Falcons to complete the comeback, and this was the first time the defending champions had lost to a debutant and the first time they're losing their opening game at the WAFCON. But for the Scorchers of Malawi, this is really historic and sets them on the path to qualification. Nigeria will look to bounce back when they take on Zambia in their next game on Saturday. The Copper Queens humiliated Egypt not by 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 goals to nil in the other group game, making the tie with the Super Falcons one to look out for. The 10-time African champions crushed Zambia 5-0 in the quarterfinals of the 2024 AFCON. But this time around that we're even losing our first game and against debutants, who knows exactly what's going to happen. First time we lose to debutants, first time we lose the opening match since 2008, and coach Justin Madugu says they would definitely have to make amends. Let's take you to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland, where Nigeria now has a new Commonwealth Games medalist in the men's 100 meters. 21-year-old Kanyinsola Ajayi claimed bronze in the final in Glasgow, clocking 9.90 seconds. It is the first individual win for Nigeria in the men's 100 meters at the Commonwealth Games in 20 years. The last was Olusoji Fasuba, who took silver in Melbourne in 2006. He finished behind Cameroon's Emmanuel Eseme, who stormed to gold in a games record, a national record of 9.83 seconds, and Australia's Lacan Kennedy, who took silver in 9.85 seconds. The Nigerian record holder, already the fastest man in the country with a personal best of 9.84, produced a controlled and composed run to secure third place in a high-quality final. And still yesterday, we had other Nigerians who won their medals, talking about Temitope Adesina, a high jump, improving on her 10th place in the previous edition at Birmingham. The national record holder is now a bronze medalist. So 2 bronze medals for us yesterday, and let's take a look at what the medals table is looking like at the moment. A total of 12 medals for Nigeria, consisting of 6 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze medals, and we are the highest ranked African country at the competition. And there's more games, of course, coming up today. When you take a look at it, Obi Jennifer is competing in the women's 200 meters. In the men's shot put, Chukwebuka Enekwechi is also there. And of course, 200 meters for men, Alaba Kintola and Udodi Onwu Zurike also competing today. Watch out for the men's 100 meters at the T47. Ifani Christian also competing today. Quite a very long lineup for the Nigerian athletes. Now, away from the Commonwealth Games to news emanating from outside the country. Well, we hear that Europe's football governing body has issued a strong statement condemning what it calls condemning what it calls a proposal that UEFA says the plan crosses a line that football's governing institutions should never cross, arguing that the soul and governance of football are not assets to trade, especially with zero transparency as to who gains financially, and stated plainly that none of us are the owners of football. It is not FIFA's to sell. Let's round off with transfer news, where Zinedine Zidane is now the coach of the French national team. The French Football Federation confirmed the appointment in Paris. He signed a 4-year deal that runs through to the 2030 World Cup, replacing Didier Deschamps, who stepped down after France finished 4th at the tournament that just ended in the US, Mexico, and Canada. Now, across the border to Italy, where a chaotic transition of power has finally come to an end. Roberto Mancini has returned to the dugouts to save Italy. He has resigned as the coach of the Azzurri and will be looking to add another European title to his resume. Finally, Tunisia has appointed Moin Shabani as head coach after a disappointing World Cup campaign that saw them sack 2 coaches in the span of 3 weeks. 2 types of coaches in the world, those who've been sacked and those who are waiting to be sacked. And of course, before we wrap up Sports Brief this morning, here's an information for you. Welbeck set to sign for Chelsea. His contract will be valid until 2028. Well, that's it on Sports Brief this morning.